This isn't background noise. This is Florida Metal Radio, and this is Season 4. I'm Fabulous B, and we're back to do what we've always done. Amplify the underground and drown out the weak. No trends, no posers, no corporate garbage. Just real bands, real riffs, and real metal. From death, thrash, black doom, and everything that hits hard enough to matter. New music, new interviews, same violent volume. If you can't handle it, turn it off. Florida Metal Radio Season 4 starts now. Welcome to Florida Metal Radio Season 4, built on riffs fueled by chaos. I'm your host, Fabulous B, and tonight we're joined by a band named Versus, bringing pure metal energy to their scene. Season 4 is about heavy music, real conversations, and supporting bands doing it the right way. Thanks for being here. How's it going, guys?
It's going on. How are you?
Pretty good. So, for everybody listening to my program, you want to go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're from?
We're Versus collectively. We're from a quaint old town in England called Leeds. My name's Shorty, and I am the lead vocalist.
I'm Rob. I'm the guitarist.
How you doing?
Hello, I'm Calvin, the drummer.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, how did you guys come up with the band Versus?
Oh, the name? The name, it went through a load of different variations at the beginning. We used to be called You, Me versus the World, and then it was called Versus the System because the lyrics were getting angry at the current state of the world or the past state of the world. And then it was just like, I just wanted to be, I think collectively we just wanted it short and snappy and to the point, really. Okay. Just a massive ball of juxtaposition.
Right on. So, from what I'm hearing, then the original vision of the band is you started off kind of a little bit softer, and then you started getting angry along the way, or
no, man, I've always been angry.
Aren't we all? Yeah,
just one of the many crosses that we have to bear. Kind of, yeah. Well, we started out really as a grungy, like a post-grunge metal kind of mixture, and we've just evolved throughout the years into what we are now.
Okay.
The name changes were purely in the beginning. They're very much purely just an aesthetic thing, really. You can imagine like having to write so many words on a sticker and stuff like that. It makes it cheaper. Exactly. For printing costs. So I just think in the end we just needed it to be snappy to the point. It can mean literally anything to anybody, whether it's someone versus their own demons, someone trying to fight, I don't know, something political, somebody trying to potentially keeping their heart and their brain separate, when that girl leaves you.
Right.
So you can have like that inner conflict, and I think that really sums us up.
So, I mean, at what point did you realize that this was not just a side project, that this is something that you wanted to make bigger than what it is, or than what it was?
Wow, that's a really good one. I think we've been around for a fair while, 10 years. So we were just trying to, in the early days, I guess, play to friends and just try and write songs that we really liked, and then perform those songs. And then as time's gone on, especially with obviously the pandemic happening and all of that jazz, it wasn't an easy ride for any band out there, really. And I think when we came back, we still had the old tracks, so we performed them like we always did. We noticed that we were getting a few more fans along the way, contrary to like the previous days before the pandemic. And then I think it clicked this year.
Last
really.
year.
It did really all just click into place this year.
Okay.
We got a hell of a lot more organised. So it wasn't just like four guys like trying to book a show somewhere in the local area. It was a case of no, actually we've got some really, really good new material. Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome.
And it was something that I think all of us believed in, still do, to be fair. So we just became a lot more conscious about the brand, a lot more organised in who we spoke to.
Okay.
And what shows we would book and the frequency of those shows, and all of that stuff. So it's just kind of all fallen into place naturally, but it was definitely over the last year that things started going down.
I can definitely feel your pain as far as the whole pandemic was. That was actually the year that I started Florida Metal Radio.
Oh, wow.
So I actually gave a lot of bands an outlet to be able to still play to their fans by this outlet. So I mean, I definitely feel, especially with the organization thing, because if you've seen some of my early episodes, they were not very good.
For our shows.
Essentially, I mean, I was in my bedroom, I had a headset on, and just it looked like I was in a call center and not on an actual show. So
yeah.
All right. So what bands, scenes, eras helped you guys shape your sound?
Go on, Rob. That's Rob and a Calvin question, is that?
So for me personally, I am really into Dayseeker. I really like Bring the Horizon. I do like Enter Shikari, although I know I'm stepping on your toes here shortly. But I would say those are my three real sort of touchstones really with music at the minute. I like quite a broad breadth of music, but I would say those are my core three bands where I seem to come back to over and over until I've bled them dry, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we all have our our heroes.
Yeah, from a rhythm perspective, I'm more metal leaning.
Okay.
Sort of influences from Slayer and Black Sabbath, all the way through to Opeth, and at the early kind of heavy 70s rock was my starting point, and then over the years I've got a bit more proggy, but that kind of heavy rhythmic feel, along with Shorty's melodies, is quite well ingrained in the Versus sound now, particularly on the Catalyst.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think all of us have got like fairly eclectic tastes. We do go from one genre to another, but that's something you'll find out with the next album.
Right on. Speaking of the next album, let's talk about that. So what are you, when are you guys going to be releasing new music? And I mean, I understand that you're working on it right now. So, I mean, is it something that you're thinking maybe within this next 6 months or sooner?
Well, we're still sort of like getting the Catalyst out there, primarily. We've got another single coming off of that at the end of January. And, as a band, as a collective, we're always kind of writing in the background anyway. But I think I don't think the next album will be out so early. It'd probably be late autumn, if that, this year. We want to give the Catalyst its dues and really hammer that one home. Before.
The Catalyst has only been out for, I think we were saying earlier, 4 weeks yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're still trying to get that in front of people at the minute, I think.
It's definitely fairly new. I mean, from what I heard, and I saw on your website, it looked like it was a recent addition.
Yeah.
All right. So now, I know that there's a lot of bands, especially since the pandemic. A lot of people are switching more to the format of releasing singles rather than full length albums. Now, is that something that you guys have been toying with the idea of releasing maybe a full album, or are you more the single, doing singles at a time?
Wow, read my mind. That's a really good one. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about this.
Okay. You don't have to answer completely. You can give me the most vague answer that you want to.
That's perfect. So we like. I think it's just sort of like the industry's etiquette that when you release an album, that you want to release a single or two potentially off of that album. So we're kind of trying to follow industry etiquette, if you will, in that respect. But, we might put out some standalone singles eventually. In the next 6 months, you never know. It's one of those things where, because we work the way we do, and because Rob and Cal write the way they do, we're a finely oiled machine in that respect. So we're always churning stuff out. It's just a case of we prefer giving the fans and anybody that listens a bit of variation and more than just one thing that's going to last like 3.5 minutes. Want to give them something that's going to last at least 40 minutes.
I personally like taking people on that journey through an album as well. I mean, I've got all the time in the world for singles and the big hitters, but I think you get something slightly different when you listen to an album in full, and I think it'd be a shame just to ignore it completely.
There are, I completely and totally concur, Rob. I mean, there's a lot of bands that put out a full album that tell a story from cover to cover. But the singles can also tell a story just in the presentation. So, I mean, there's plenty of bands, Iron Maiden, they've had, albums that have told an entire story, Dream Theater, stuff like that. So, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's all very, very correct.
Yes.
Every single that we've sort of like released, building up to the Catalyst. Obviously, it's from the Catalyst, but there is a sort of like an overarching theme to all of the songs. However, each individual track and every single does tell its own story. I think you're absolutely bob on with that.
Okay. Now, with the Catalyst, is this does this material represent growth or a shift for the band, or are you still going in the same direction as you were whenever you first started releasing music?
Oh, it's a massive.
I'd say 100% there growth in comparison to the stuff that was out there before 2025. I'd say there's been quite a lot of acceleration in the growth, the sound of Versus, and particularly with the production on the Catalyst, we're able to demonstrate some of the talents in the band quite well, I think.
Yeah, we've evolved considerably over the last year. This has been a direction for me personally that I've always wanted to go down. However, back in the day, I had my comfort zone, as everybody does. You've got to really kind of push your way out of that. So for me, actually embracing a little bit of evolution and change was probably the best thing I've ever done, or ever could have done.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was one of the main reasons behind calling the Catalyst, because it gave everybody the opportunity to do something that felt a little bit out of the comfort zone and try something that they hadn't done before. So I think that was the whole point of the album for us.
Yeah, fantastic. So, I mean, what was the mindset going into the studio to record the Catalyst? I mean, was it, we want to grow as a band, or was it, this is going to be another song? I mean, what exactly was your mindset going into that?
From a drums perspective, it was, oh my God, this music's perfect. I cannot mess the drums up. They've got to be nailed on for this record. I think it's come out well, but I'll let your listeners be the judge of that.
Right on.
What about you, Rob?
I don't know. From my perspective, this is the type of music that I write anyway, and I love having the hard hitting melodic choruses and the ambient verses, and that tends to be the way that I write in general. So I didn't specifically go in with a different mindset, if that makes sense. It was just once I got into a specific rhythm with the album, and Lost and Found, the second track on the album, was probably the catalyst to the catalyst, if that makes sense. Yeah. Once I got that off the ground, I thought, that's a sound that I really like. This band sounding like, and Shorty's vocals work really well with it. Cal can groove with it, and it just came together really well. So I thought more of the same, and then we just sort of expanded around the edges as we started getting more and more songs together.
Okay. Yeah, speaking of the catalyst, and, like I said, like we had talked about earlier with the state of the world and everything going to more digital streaming services and everything, where would somebody just finding you, where would they be able to find your material? Where would they be able to stream or listen to you?
Oh, well, we are indeed on Spotify. We're on most of the digital streaming platforms nowadays. If anybody needs to find us, if they just go to the website, which is versusbandinc.com, there's a little link tree at the bottom there that you can click on. It'll give you all the places to stream stuff from. Okay.
Now, with you saying that you had the website with the link tree and everything, and everybody's also, especially metal bands, rock bands, and stuff like that, everybody's relying on a secondary source of income. So with merchandise and everything being, one of the main sources of that, where would somebody be able to find some of your like T-shirts or merchandise?
The website again.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got everything that we currently do listed up there. All of the latest merch designs. I mean, for all of us, obviously we all work day jobs as well. Which absolutely suits us all to the ground. It gives us pays the bills, and then it gives us sort of like the cash to put into Versus. What we tend to do with any Versus merch sales or anything from that, we tend to just reinvest it back into the band, because our production's getting heavier. Yes. The more we look at it. And these things cost money. So rather than us having to fork out for it, we're trying to get the band sort of like reliant on the merch sales, if that makes sense, because that's where the majority of the cash comes from.
Exactly. Especially whenever, you're trying to put together, studio time, or you're trying to, do a tour or something to that effect. It always helps.
Yeah.
Speaking of tours and live shows, what can people expect from a live show from Versus the band?
An experience.
An experience.
Yeah, it's not just a show. So, we tend to sort of like bring everything that we possibly can to one show. So, there's all sorts going on in the background, obviously, with the lighting assisting and going with the music. We've got massive, like, Roman candle sparklers that go off at certain times, and confetti that flies everywhere. And we just tend to enjoy it and try to create an atmosphere where everybody can let their hair down, just be themselves and just enjoy the moment.
Hair down and horns up, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So So, I mean, out of the shows that you've played over the last 10 years, I mean, is there any shows that really stand out that, that just really blew your mind, that more people showed up, or just, I mean, something happened that just kind of blew your mind?
Oof.
I think one from last year short would be the festival over in Manchester. Was it Glastonbury?
Glastonbury, yeah.
And we had a nice big stage, a nice full street, and some great support bands on before us as well. The general feedback from even the sound engineer and the people present was they're absolutely blown away. And that was with our older material. So we're looking forward to getting that out, or going out with the Catalyst new material, and blowing a few more minds.
Oh, fantastic. So, with the metal scene over there in Leeds, is there a lot of bands over there that are, kind of same genre that you guys really, I guess work with?
I can confidently say production-wise, and show-wise, there's not and I don't want to sound really, really conceited when I say this, but there's not a band that does what we do live. We have plenty of sort of like colleagues in other bands that are very much not playing the same genre, but there's some really good metal bands in Leeds at the moment, but they also like write the music. They've got great stage presence and everything, but they just don't create, from my perspective anyway, from the way I feel, is they don't create the same sort of like atmosphere as we do. That sounds really, really cocky.
I think it's just that we're trying to one up anyone else, aren't we? And we're trying to be a bit more unique. So it's that a lot of that comes down to the production, because Leeds is quite a heavy musician city anyway, with the Leeds College of Music, and it brings a lot of musicians to the city anyway. So there's a lot of musicians in Leeds, and genres are 10 a penny nowadays, aren't they? Between metal and bodycore and post-hardcore and grunge and all these little subgenres. But in our little niche, I can't think there's many, and I can't think many bands do what we do live.
Okay. Now, I mean, is there a potential of maybe at some point, versus the band tours in the States?
That would be a dream come true.
Sold.
Yeah. I think, we would love to go to the States and tour the States. We've got a couple of friends down in Tampa, Kelly and Lewis. They're in a band called the Dolly Rods. So they'd put us up in the South at least. Well, temporarily, but we'd love to come over there and sort of like absolutely show you guys what we can do. Whether or not they let us take our full production through customs is another story, but...
Right. Yeah, that's definitely questionable in today's state of the world, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, there's equipment to hire over there anyway. I mean, if we did, that would be a dream come true. We're currently looking at concentrating on the UK this year, potentially, very, very potentially, very slim potential of this happening, but we are potentially looking at going across into Europe for a couple of shows later on this year. But yeah, we're sort of like, we're hunkering down in on the continent, so to speak, and then after that, yeah, the world.
Yeah, take it all over.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, versus the band versus the world. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You're not wrong.
All right. Well, I just wanted to thank you so very kindly for, taking some of your evening to chat with me here on Florida Metal Radio. like I said, before we started recording, that this is basically this is going to be a podcast. I am going to edit this everything and put it out. But I had to thank you for once again taking time to talk to me and to be able to let everybody know exactly who Versus is.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for being on Florida Metal Radio. This has been Fabulous B. This is Versus the band. And thanks for listening. That's the end of this episode of Florida Metal Radio Season 4. If something hit hard tonight, don't sit on it. Support the bands, buy the music, show up to the shows. If you're not subscribed yet, fix that now. Subscribe, follow the show, turn on notifications. It's that easy. I'm Fabulous B. This isn't about trends or algorithm. It's about real metal, real scenes, and real volume. We'll be back with more new music, more interviews, and heavier cuts because the underground doesn't slow down and neither do we. If it was too loud, good. Tune in every Saturday at 5 p.m. on all streaming platforms. Florida Metal Radio, Season 4. Stay heavy.